We are indeed at Africa's biggest stock market for shares, and I am talking today to Frank Black. He's an analyst at Stock Market Performer, which is an advisory services geared mainly towards private investors. Frank, thanks very much indeed for coming in and talking to us today. Different kind of presentation this, because normally we focus on companies and we focus on some of the more better known names, but it's excellent to have you here because you bring a very different kind of view. Now, you're telling me amongst your three portfolios that you look at, you have the mid-cap sector outperforming everybody else. Why is that?
Well, it's just firstly, just the way the whole thing is set up is I run three portfolios: a small cap, speculative short-term portfolio, a mid-cap, mid-term growth portfolio, and a large cap long-term value portfolio. And I compare them, I run them side by side, so you can actually see the performance of each and which one's doing the best. And at the moment, and in fact for the last 9 months, the mid-cap portfolio has been outperforming the others by a long way. And that's simply because the small caps have still got a lot of catch up to do. The small caps have been clobbered, and they're about to turn around and start picking up now. Right. The large caps are quite slow in their growth, but the mid caps is just generally a high growth sector. So that's where you've got your not completely new companies, but companies with a lot of growth ahead of them. And this is why it's still very much a stock picker's market. Sure. So you've got to be careful in your selection. And I mean, I've got, I think, about 3 shares in my mid-cap portfolio at the moment that are above 100% up. One's about 160% up in around about 9 months or so. Absolutely. So so the mid-caps are really cooking.
Very strong on performance indeed. But is this normal? Does this happen all the time? Like if you go back in history, do you get a situation where when you have a big pullback like we had last year and then slightly the year before, you get the mid-cap outperforming all the other sectors, or is this an abnormal?
I think the mid-caps will always be the best performers over a sort of 3 to 5 year period. But it's not always that way. Sometimes the focus is on the small caps. The focus is on the more speculative shares. And we're just seeing now, especially in the United States, the Russell 2000 index, which is the small cap index of the United States, is now surging. So it looks like we're now going to start seeing a swing back to the small caps and the Alt-X index, which has been terribly bombed out in the last little while.
Indeed. Now, within that mid-cap sector, where are you finding value? Which industries do you see in terms of the shares that you have?
Yeah, I've got quite a fair cross section across sort of mix within different sectors, but the best by far are in the resource and commodity space. Okay.
No surprises there. We've seen commodities bouncing.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the focus for the coming year or two. With emerging markets being the driving force, I think that's going to be the main driving force. So countries that have strong commodity weightings, that's where it's going to be, and obviously the companies that are exposed to that. But some of the smaller companies, I think, are going to do very, very well in the next little while. I'm
curious, in your speculative basket, what do you have?
The speculatives. Well, I've got quite a cross section, and they haven't been performing like they were last a couple of years ago, and some of them are doing pretty well. I don't think there's one in the small cap sector that's up over 100% yet. And I've had to sell out quite a few as well that have been disasters.
You've been speculating.
So, yeah. So, it's
a mixed bag, really.
But yeah, as I said, I think we're going to start seeing a swing towards the small caps round about now. Yeah. They're offering tremendous value. A lot of them. There's one of the things I always look for is value at a good price. Yeah. And at the moment, there's a lot of them that have tremendous value, and the prices are bombed out, and they're going to. And as soon as the sentiment swings back towards them, as soon as there's confidence that comes back into their long-term performance, then it's going to do well.
Do you have any large caps in your speculative asset?
Oh yeah, well, I have a whole large cap portfolio, and that's been doing pretty well. One or two that have been lagging, but it's not doing as well as the mid cap portfolio, but most certainly doing doing quite well. The large caps, you've basically finished, they're not your high growth shares. Your real sort of high growth are in the mid cap sector.
Yeah, indeed. Frank Black, thanks very much indeed for joining us today.